Well, President Biden returns to Philadelphia, the city where he launched his 2020 presidential campaign, and is set to deliver remarks outside the Independence National Historical Park tonight. The president focusing on what his administration calls the continued battle for the soul of a nation. That visit comes amid a pretty contentious political climate as well, just weeks out from the midterms. For more on this, because she'll be covering the midterms, ABC News political reporter Brittany Shepherd. So, Brittany, when Biden launched his candidacy, he made a vow to restore the soul of the nation. We've been talking about that's the mantra. So tonight he is going to deliver these remarks on what he says is progress made to protect our nation's democracy. So what more can we expect? What do you think we're going to hear from the president tonight?
You know, Kira, political history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. Soul of a nation. If you've been following Biden in any capacity, you know that him and the White House hold that phrase very, very close to the chest and deep in the heart. I think today's speech in Philly is going to work on several different levels for Biden. I think most principally delivering a message to voters and a warning sign that democracy is on razor's edge. And according to President Biden, the folks pushing that over off the cliff are former President Donald Trump and every Republican who marches in line behind him. It's a very stark warning shot, and not going to be a jubilant midterm speech that we expect. You know, the kickoff of the midterms just 2 months right after Labor Day. I think he's going to be delivering a sobering message to voters that exactly what he was worried about when he was first tossing his hat in for candidacy during Charlottesville. That was the thing that motivated him to run for president in the first place. That has reared its ugly head again in the form of election denierism, in the form of ripping up the Constitution. And in fact, I think it's a message that's very similar to former Republican, current Republican Liz Cheney, who has now been sent to the unemployment line by voters in Wyoming. It's a kind of interesting, unlikely bedfellows between the two. I think that messaging, that thematics is going to be really, really strong tonight. But of course, there is a bit of a victory lap component of this too. This is not a campaign speech. The White House says this is an official White House speech touting all the recent legislative victories for them, for gun reform, for Medicare and Medicaid reform, for inflation. You know, the White House is battling pretty severe tanking approval numbers. And this is a chance for Biden to not only reinvigorate that, but to capture part of the electorate he feels like he has lost. So we've been following all day this special master to review these classified documents that the former president took from his MarALago estate. The hearing just wrapped. No decision. The judge didn't give a timeline to when she would make a decision. Do you think that'll even enter into the speech tonight, or do you think the president will just kind of move on and focus on his agenda? Well, the White House tells us that latter is going to be true, that he's going to be as buttoned up about Trump and MarALago as possible. They haven't really commented much as before. We've yelled at questions to Biden, and he's just said, come on, man, I won't talk about that. One, because it's an ongoing legal process, and two, because he has no political incentive to chime in on the record. You know, it puts him in a weird place, kind of adds the narrative from Republicans that the Democrats are politicizing this raid on MarALago. But if Biden does go off script, I think there's a potential that he might tease this out. I mean, just last week at a political rally, he compared Republicans, MAGA Republicans, to semi-fascists. That's not something said half-throated, right? He knows what he's doing. He knows how he feels, and he's clearly very angry. So if he's allowed to go off script or gives himself that ability, I think you might hear it peek in, but White House advisors are really hoping that doesn't happen.
Really hoping. You emphasized really hoping. All right. Well, Biden, you know, likes to tout his accomplishments. He will do that tonight. House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy is less than 130 miles away in Scranton, of course, giving a speech on what his team calls Biden's assault on the soul of America. So what does this tell us when it comes to Pennsylvania? It's a key battleground state. Things are starting to heat up for sure.
Oh, out of the frying pan into the fire in the most severe way for Republicans in Pennsylvania, Kira. And I think it's not lost on anybody that Scranton is the hometown of Joe Biden, and McCarthy and his team are definitely trying to make a signal by going there as opposed to anywhere else in the country, or just staying here in D.C. and delivering that message. I mean, Joe Biden won Pennsylvania by less than 2 points in the presidential cycle. Democrats really think that they have a good chance to flip it and really help maintain their numbers and build slowly a blue firewall to this red wave that we've all been rambling on about that's going to be happening supposedly come November. The Republican ticket in Pennsylvania is a bit underwater. We talk about the fate of democracy and election deniers. Doug Mastriano, the candidate for governor for Republicans, is a tacit election denier, full-throated support of MAGAism and keeping America great. We heard Mitch McConnell say recently that the Republicans have a candidate issue, kind of a wink and a nod saying we can't really keep propping up these election deniers because we feel that Democrats are going to be spending a lot of money to try to beat us and they might win. So McCarthy going there is kind of an attempt to bring some of those Republican candidates back from underwater just to hopefully break through enough to give them national credence, DC cred.
All right. Well, you give us a lot of cred when it comes to politics. Brittany Shepherd, appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.